Welcome to FCC Supporter Square, the show for fans, by fans, and about fans. Here are your hosts, Matt Warman, Boston Brazel, and Mark Suffin.
Hey everybody, it is yet another episode of FCC Supporter Square, the show for fans, by fans, and about fans. And are we still angry? Probably. After a perfect April, it's been a not so perfect May. And I guess fortunately or unfortunately, we don't have to play much in June. So we're going to get into details of that, and we're almost, if not exactly halfway there, because I think it's 34 games, so it would be 17 games. I'm not sure if there's one more to play or whatnot, but we're close enough to have mid-season. The All-Star game voting is happening, so please vote early and often, as they say, for your favorites, and which I think we're all doing. And I think what we're going to try to do between now and July is try to do a mid-season show. If you'd like to be a guest on the show during that, hit us up because I'm setting that up right now. So we don't have exact dates yet. I know what dates we can't do, but we're working on that. So it's coming up on mid-season. So we're going to probably touch on that a little bit here, but hopefully we'll have a live-ish show, not this, but recorded at a podcast studio by my buddy Fred. And we'll figure that out and who the guests are and all that stuff coming up. So that's something to be excited about because there's not a lot of soccer if you're an FCC fan for quite some time. We have this weekend off. Next weekend is a road match. Then it's international break and because of Club World Cup. And then we have a couple of games on the road at the end of the month. So we're not going to see the orange and blue until at home until July, and there's not much going on during June anyway. So which the way they're playing, I'm really happy about. Mark, my co-host, after all that talking, please say something.
Well, good to see you, Matt. Glad to be back with you here. Certainly, the recent stretch of matches for our dear club has not been anything we really want to talk a whole lot about, but we are exactly at the halfway point in 17 matches played and still sitting second in the table somehow. Other teams just haven't really jumped right in as we've sort of faltered a bit. So gotta say, I'm happy about that. 30 points by mid-season. I think we're one of the only teams that have done this so many years in a row, have this many points this early in the season. So yeah, just you can look back on this as a wave. We rode the wave. Start off a little rough, then we really cascaded midway through the first half here, but it's certainly faltered last four. I think since Columbus, it's been a struggle, and
Go ahead.
I'm hoping for a month off that will get from matches. I mean, we have 3 away matches, of course, but I'm hoping the break is taken well by the boys.
So if anybody thought that Nick Hagelin was not comeback player of the year, hasn't been watching this team since he's been out. Because literally, yes, they had some problems with the Columbus game. Columbus is a top team. You're going to have problems with, excuse me, you're going to have problems with a top team, particularly a team like Columbus that is a top offensive team. No matter how good your defense is, it's going to struggle a little bit against the top offensive team. They played their butts off, got a draw. Nobody's going to worry about that. But the moment that Hagelin left, the Atlanta match was just off, and we have not recovered from Nick Hagelin's injury, which is surprising because, as you said last week, he's not supposed to be the starter. He's supposed to be coming off the bench, maybe rotation minutes. Wednesday's games he should be starting. We played a good portion of this season without Miazga and Hagelin and still got results. And now suddenly we're not. What has changed other than Hagelin injury? Not much. But I tell you what, I was again, I had family weddings. I think we're done. The month of May was the craziest month I've had in quite some time, particularly with family stuff, 2 weddings and birthdays, and oh my gosh.
Same here.
I'm happy that June is. I've got one thing planned in June, and that's fine because that's during the break. Anyhow, uh, I got to see the replay, and if we don't have a set piece defense coach, we need one. And if we have one, firing. Period. Firing. That first goal was unbelievable. They were kind of marking the men. I've seen it. I've seen us do this with Barreal. It wasn't even that devious. I mean, at least we hit Acosta would hit a floating ball to Barreal who would half volley it, and because he's unmarked, but he's well outside the 18. This guy was barely on the 18, and they hit it low on the ground, and nobody came out to meet the ball or the man. He had all day to take a look and hit it in the corner of the net. It was a great shot, but it was also a completely uncontested shot on a free kick. I know that we had 2 men in the wall. It wasn't quite a corner kick. It was in a little bit, but that was disgraceful. That was disgraceful. The second goal, also on a set piece. Guy runs free. I think Dado looks at him and doesn't do anything, and he heads it right. At first I thought he didn't even touch the ball. I think it just bounced in, but he did put a head on it because nobody marked him. How are you not marking? You know what they're going to do. It's not like in the run of play versus set pieces. FC Cincinnati gives up very few goals. Okay, so if you take out the PKs and the set pieces, I bet you we've given up, 3 or 4 goals, maybe more. I don't know, but a few. We've given up a few goals, quite a few goals. But if you look at the set pieces and how many times people have scored on corner kicks, headers, marking, it's unacceptable. And I think it affects the teams. It affects all teams negatively. Obviously, we're giving up goals, but it's affecting the offense to the point to where do we have to do some more offensive help, or is our defenders staying too far back? It does all kinds of things to us. Offensively, I'm happy. That goal that we equalized at the time, that was exactly what we wanted, a Bander to Danke. Perfect. Wonderful. They missed some other things. We could talk about the offense in a moment, but the defense, particularly man marking, was bush league. Anything to add to my disgust?
Well, your frustration is well taken. Something has changed in the defensive system, and I can't explain it. It just seems like picking up players when they come through and attacking the ball seems to be missing. And it was absolutely missing in Columbus, and it's just been missing ever since. I think there's a bit of unluckiness that goes in with that, but still, just players getting through and having, uncontested shots, that's not what we need to do. That's not going to get us a guaranteed playoff spot. We've played the 13th place, the 11th place, and I think another 11th or 13th place in successive matches and have lost and tied. We have not won any of them. And, we went through last podcast and said, we've got to get this win, and we didn't get it. And there's a lot of, blame to, hand about, but I just think when the other team is just getting 30, 40, 50 yards without being touched or defended, and we're just sitting back and waiting for something to happen. Well, they boned up in the second half, but still they were on the front foot, the whole second half. And that's what made it irritating is we just never got going. We were sending balls, down, trying to go, coast to coast, constantly. And that the success rate of that is so low. The Evander to Dinky, almost looked too easy, but we couldn't do anything after that. We could do nothing. So it made it very difficult to be there and see that happen. I just think something needs to change in the defense to get ourselves in better positions.
Going into the season, the one thing everybody was pretty excited about, even though we did trade a couple of our center backs, was our defensive play. We expected Miazga to come back. We were told that he would, and he did. I still think he's healing. That was a serious injury, and I think the optimistic timeline was used, not the actual timeline. He may not be fully healed till the end of the season or even next season. That doesn't mean he can't play. He can, and he is. But I have not seen Miazga specifically be the one out of position for things. It's been usually somebody else. That was not Miazga to cover that guy for the first goal.
Yeah.
That's an Obi, that's an Anunga. I'm not sure who was playing the defensive midfielder, because that was a midfielder who's kicking it. So obviously you're doing that. I don't like this. I don't like the zone marking. Look, if you're going to play man-to-man or zone, this is true of any sport, basketball, football, not baseball, obviously, but any team sport where you have a way of defending. You could play all zone, but only if you're like well known for it. And you can play man, but you usually want to mix up your defense a little bit just so people can't get a key on it. I feel like people have studied us. Look, they're going to have to. These teams, like I said last week, there are no bad teams. 11th place team doesn't mean they can't beat us. It just means they're not consistent. If you're going to give DC United 2 easy goals, not digs a hole, right? And
yeah.
And these teams know that if pressing works against us, and 11 men back typically works pretty well against us. So the only way they can really play 11 back and try to get any kind of result is to score first. And if we're going to let all of these teams score first, particularly second minute on what looked like a broken play, this is going to happen. We're going to be on the back foot. That means they score a goal. Then that means they don't have to, not that they're going to park the bus necessarily, but they can. They can put 11 back and not worry about it. Try to look for a counter, and that's what all these teams have been doing. That the game on Wednesday, a week ago Wednesday, that was somebody running free down the middle because of a counter, but we should have had men back. We had more than enough time to stop that. It's terrible. And it's putting the offense on the back foot, and it gives them time to just put 11 men back and just set it down. They weren't playing for a tie. They were playing for a win with a 1 goal up. And then we tied them, and instead of putting fear into them, they scored another goal real quick. And then now they're like, okay, now let's just keep playing. We got 45 minutes to go. At this point, we could hold them for 45 minutes. It's got to be a mindset. I don't know if the team is getting lost, the defense is getting lost by somebody. What do you think is going on specifically?
Well, I think specifically, we're not attacking the ball in a defensive stance. And we're just not even beginning to put plays together in the attack. We sort of gave up on that because I just think when we're pressed, it's going to be difficult. And we've shown, we just crumble, and we have to start sending balls over and try to connect 3 lines ahead, and that's not going to win very often. So something has to change in, the speed. When we're getting sped up, we were kicking balls out of bounds. Now they were making mistakes too, but these are mistakes we can fix. We can counter a team that's going to press you just by countering that, you know. But it didn't seem like we were really getting in that mindset to really try. And we just had to, you know, weather that storm and just try to, you know, get out of it the best we can. And it just made for a second half that really nothing happened. And it just became more frustrating as it went on. You know, we can't just be vulnerable to being pressed, it, and not have anything to counter it with. You know, that's the biggest problem.
There are some things on the offensive side of the ball that I'm seeing, specifically Orishano. I think Orishano wants to go. I saw him play on Wednesday. He played his butt off, but I had to watch the recap. I watched the recap. He took a shot outside the 18 that I knew he was going to take before he took it. I'm certain that the keeper knew he was going to take it. He hits a curling ball towards the far post, and the guy made an easy save because he hit it from 25 yards away and telegraphed it. And he's like, oh, well, I mean, I got the ball and I'm open. I might as well shoot it. Okay, then maybe shoot it near post or do something else. Because I feel like Orishano is kind of doing one trick pony type of things. And if they're gonna play 11 back, then we have to play more patient. There was a period when we had our swagger, and that's really what it looks like. We've lost our swagger. We've lost our edge. I've lost our mojo, whatever you want to call it. But there were times when it's a tie game or we're down a goal, we seem to get mad and make a different play, make a couple of really good passes, be patient with the ball. I've seen a lot of play recently where we try to go up a side and they kind of stop us, and then we just kick the ball back and then kick the ball over and then try to go up the other side, get stopped, kick the ball back, kick the ball over. No speed, no intent, right? There's possession and there's intent. We're doing better with possession. We are not doing better with intent. We are doing terrible with intent. And it seems like not like we over practice, but it's like that. It's like there's no creativity. It's like, oh, we're going to go up the side. Okay, when stopped, pass the ball back, and then pass it to the middle, and then pass it over, and then it's like the same 3 or 4 passes until we try to get into position. It's not like, okay, they stopped us with 2. That means somebody is open. Where is that person, and how do we get that person in? How do we send somebody else forward to overload? If they're going to overload us, overload them. Put more people on. So now they have to pay attention to this. We seem to be stuck in a slow gear. Our team speed is not the best. I mean, we have some fast players, but we're also not. We're not trying with intensity. I don't know if they're tired, worn out, frustrated with each other, frustrated with themselves. Frustrated with players who probably behind the scenes want to leave. I don't know, but something has changed in the last couple of weeks, and they're not playing the same. I can't tell you that. I don't have insight. This is a fan show. I'm just telling you what I see on the field. I don't talk to people, insiders or anything like that. That's not what this show is about anyway. So it looks like they've lost some swagger, and it looks like something's going on internally, but I don't know what it is. And I'm not going to speculate that it's Orishana because he plays hard, but there's been rumors of him going somewhere. I don't think I haven't heard anything from Denke or Evander. They seem to be happy here. Maybe Yedlin was unhappy that he lost some time because Orishana is playing on the wing. I don't know. But that they're not playing with the same passion that they did 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, and all those topics are definite pain points that we're seeing. Also, you can throw in how many offside calls are we still getting? When it was rampant early in the season, it kind of calmed down a little bit, but boy, has it come back with a vengeance. So just we can continue to pile on different things that need to be addressed, and I just think the ultimate thing is we've lost some of our fight. I just think that's quite clear that the fight has just gone out of us a little bit, and we're trying to seek it back. And it's just hopefully this time only 3 matches in the month. Hopefully it gives these guys time to refocus and get that fight back that we've been seeing, which started this season pretty well, and we were getting to a good spot, but it's faltered. So that area has work to do.
I don't blame the coach. So if anybody's blaming the coach, and that always seems to happen when you get into any kind of losing streak, I want to make sure that everybody understands that we have a 3-game losing streak. We're only 4 points behind the leaders of the East. We're still in Shield contention halfway through. Yes, the defense is not playing well. No, the offense is not bad. Saying that we paid X amount of dollars for our offense, they're doing as advertised. It's not like this is not the Spoon years with Addy. Danke is the real deal. He's got 10 goals in 17 games. That's what you want. That is the production you want from a star player. Evander made the assist. He's got probably close to 10 assists and is like 6 or 8 goals on himself. They're fine. The stars are fine. The thing that is frustrating is that the defense, which we thought was a stalwart of this team, was we needed more offense. The defense is fine. Suddenly, we're looking at the summer transfer window like, okay, well, who do we need? What's going on? How do we transition? Now, is that style of play? Do we play back 4 and get rid of the wing back? I mean, that's a pretty extreme measure. But these are the things that we're going to have to go on the table. These are things where I bet you Albright and Noonan are talking about what they need to adjust, because we're still in second place. Do you panic? No. Are we going to get a wooden spoon? Absolutely not. We're going to be a playoff team. We're not that inconsistent. I don't see us losing a bunch of games. But what we do need to do is take some time off, which is what we got. I think nothing. This season seems to be going at just the right time. We were playing a bunch of teams that we could handle when we had a bunch of injuries, and we got the injuries back, and we still had some teams that we could have beat, and we haven't. But for the most part, things have fallen our side schedule-wise. I think this team needs a couple weeks off. I think everybody needs to just mentally recharge and go to the beach, go to the mountains, go to your club team or your country team, go visit some family, whatever it is that you need to do, go do it for a week, and regroup and regather, and then have a couple of practices where it's not so much yelling or rigor, but hey, this is what we're doing wrong. Look at this. Why we're not doing this. Do some film study, do some fun stuff. Ease them back in a couple of practices. That's what I would do. Noonan knows what he's doing. You don't win the Supporters Shield and make the playoffs every year if you're a bad coach. You just don't. We had a coach that couldn't win the USL and was our coach. That's what it looks like. He's not that. Change of tactics, change of plans. Yeah, maybe the coaching staff needs to think of some things too. It's a full team, and it's also a huge season. It's going to be, I said, we're going to have weeks like this. I mean, everything was roses and rainbows until you lose a game, and then suddenly we lose our swagger. Do you see, besides what I said, anything else that you would want to do, or you'd like to see, or your thoughts on that kind of stuff?
I think we've covered all the bases. We've the horse has been
Thoroughly
beaten dead. And it's I think we're just needing to take a break here and get our senses about us and get the game plan locked in get some fitness back for the guys that are maybe have a knock or two, get everybody healthy. And, because this next half a season, I'm looking, if we get another 30 points, I think we're in really good position. But it's going to be some work, and I just hope the guys are going to get focused. I just think the buildup has to be solidified. No matter if we're getting pressed, no matter if we're getting, if they throw a strange lineup or a strange configuration at us, we've got to be able to weather any of those storms. And that's going to be the telltale, whether we're going to have a great season or not. Because we have the ability for a great season, but right now it's kind of suspect unless these guys can really turn it around.
One thing that does concern me out of everything is our second half performance. Our
Yeah.
second half performance, particularly the last 8, 9 games, has been, we come out hot the first 15, 20 minutes. We might score a goal somewhere in the first half. The Wednesday game, we're up 2-0. All you have to do is see out the first 10, 15 minutes. Even if you concede a goal after 15 minutes, you kind of you don't give them hope. They came out so flat, they gave up a goal in the first 5 minutes. It felt like they gave up 2, and then they did. So I'm hoping that they figure that out too. But with all of that being said, Cincinnati fans are so used to heartbreak, I guess. I'm an old enough fan to remember the Big Red Machine. So there wasn't, and even then there was some heartbreak in doing that. But we made playoffs and World Series and whatnot. We're pretty dominant. But Cincinnati fans, particularly Bengals fans and Reds fans and UC fans and maybe Xavier fans even, they feel like there's a curse on this town, and even when we're playing well, people are unhappy. You win by a goal, you should win by 3. Like, a win is a win.
Yep.
I think people get way twisted out of shape for Cincinnati sports in general, and I think FC Cincinnati, because they are doing well. Whenever they don't do well, it gets even more twisted. Relax, people. As Mark said, second place, and not only second place, all the other teams had problems. All right, we had a bad 3-game stretch, and nobody took only Philadelphia took somewhat advantage of that, from going from second place to first place. So a 3-game loss and everybody else is struggling. Guess what? Everybody else is inconsistent. Everyone else is incomplete. Everyone else is running through mid-season form of too many practices, too many games, right? We had a couple of Wednesday, Saturday games. We had Hell is Real. They had their rivalry games. Everybody's going through the same thing. There's not one team in this entire league, except for maybe Vancouver, that looks like they're head and shoulders above everybody else. Vancouver's looking pretty tough. Who knows what happens in the second half? I don't care about the Western Conference at this point in time anyway. So look, everybody's struggling. Everybody who had, I mean, if we were the only bad team, then we would be 6th place, and then people would really lose their minds. Yes, should we be at 39 points? Probably, but 39 points in 17 games is going to win the league. Definitely going to win the league. Probably should win the cup. So we're not no doubters. But there's nobody except for maybe Philadelphia that's as consistent as we are.
Yep.
So I think what we're going to try to do, we're going to be taking a break here because it is the mid-season area. I'm hoping to do like one mid-season review. Hopefully we'll talk about summer windows and fans who like to talk about summer windows and what we're doing wrong and who we should replace. who's coming in for Denke since he's terrible, and how we're going to get rid of Evander because he's awful. He can't pass the ball at all. We'll have to get I guess De Bruyne is coming in. Mbappe is coming in. Ronaldo's going to be playing defensive mid apparently. We'll be talking about all of these things in our summer special or summer spectacular. So we're trying to work that out because life and schedules and all that. But that's something that to look forward to as we take a break. And I think the fans, I mean, the team needs a break, but I think the fans need a break. And before we go, we have time, don't we? We do have time.
Sure.
Before we go, what is behind you? Tell the people who are listening on Spotify what's going on.
All righty. Well, for all you old FCCers, and there's a lot of us out there that are, you'll recognize that face and that after goal finisher there. This is it is the soccer tournament down in Cary, North Carolina. And Manu Ledesma on your 2018 and 2019 FCC program. He has part of the CONCACAF SC that played not one but two matches yesterday. And you can see the jubilation as Ledesma scored quickly in in target time, which is sort of the end to finish the match. They scored within about 15 seconds. And if you look at the video, you'll just see Manu in his natural environment on the right side, kicking with his left foot, and he's deadly. He knows how to shoot. He's always ready to shoot. And he won that match for CONCACAF yesterday. So what a true ambassador for FC Cincinnati, and what a player he was and what he still is, of course.
So, do we have an FC Cincinnati related team, or is it just Manu?
Manu is with the CONCACAF SC, which is sort of honestly a ragtag group of guys from all different genres, ages, and the rest. So I'm just happy for him that he got on with that group. And but there's not a Cincy SC this year. So I don't know what happened, but what didn't happen. But yeah, it was just great to pull up this tournament and like, hey, wait a minute, I know that 45 out there. So it's great. I'm just happy for him that he is out there doing what he so loves.
Well, I'm surprised we don't have a team comprising of Addy and all the other first year wooden spoon FCC players who are not playing in the league anymore. Why they couldn't form Fail FC.
You're mean, son. You are
I'm
mean.
so mean to be mean. I'm a nice guy, but that's what just pops into my head is that we don't because the guys that we like from the USL days, they're getting too old even for TST in some instances. Manu's timeless. He's always going to be timeless. But other people who don't have academies to run are probably not in soccer shape. Not to mean that they're not in shape, but or they don't want to run for 40 minutes anymore because they retired. That's kind of how retirement works. Anyhow, that's great. So yes, it was for those of you listening, it's Manu and his Ronaldo type pose where he goes to the corner and throws his arms down and you know what we're talking about. So that's the picture that we're seeing behind Mark. That's the soccer tournament, I guess, is going on as we speak during this recording. So any other last thoughts before we get out of here, Mark?
Nothing much more. Just still happy that FCC is still second place in the East and top 5 in the Supporter Shield race. This is a good spot to be in. We could be in much worse shape. And certainly the teams that should have bounced over us didn't. So I think the future is going to be good for us. We just need to put the pedal down and get back to business. Let's welcome in the teams that are coming in for the Club World Cup. If you haven't got tickets yet, rub a few more nickels together and get yourself a ticket or two, and see these wonderful world-class teams come to town.
That sounds like a great thing. And also, it is summer break for our team. It's summer break for MLS for a little bit. It's also summer break for our fans. Get out in the sun. It looks like it's still going to be kind of cool in the upper 70s, which is great for summertime. It's not 95 and brutal like it has been recently. But fans, get out there. Get away from MLS for a little bit. Get off the keyboard for a second. Get yourself a breath. It's all good. We're going to be back. Hopefully, we have a summer spectacular show. But other than that, we're going to take a break too until things kind of heat up. So we may or may not be back until July, but we're hoping to just do one other show, kind of a more fun show, more of the fans, and find out what's going on. We'll start talking about summer window and what that means, particularly with guests. So if you want to be a guest on this summer spectacular, hit me up in the next couple of days. This is being early June, so please hit me up in the next couple of days, and we'll try to set something up and see if we can accommodate you. For that, for Mark Suffin, I am Matt Warman for Here FCC Supporter Square. We will see you next time.
Thank you for joining FCC Supporter Square. The hosts are Matt Warman, Boston Brazel, and Mark Suffin. The intro song is Quick on the Holster by the Stone Bunnies, and the ending song is Awesome Sauce, also by the Stone Bunnies. Thank you for listening. Please join us again.